Always forget to turn the light on. Hello, my biddies. How are you today? I'm fine. Um, Sorry I'm a little late. I was putting together some candy, making candy today. It's got to go in the crock pot. Hoping it doesn't overcook, because this will probably go more than 2 hours. It usually does. Um, so anyway, what have we got today? You having fun today? How is everybody? I'm good. I woke up with a headache, but it went away. I think I didn't get enough caffeine yesterday. That happens sometimes. If you ever stop having caffeine and you get a headache, that's normal. Just saying. All right. I guess we'll jump right into it. With our reality roundup, I actually did watch Wives this morning. I was hoping to watch two shows, but that didn't happen because I watched somebody make a cake instead. If you are unaware of the anti chef, you should check him out because he's pretty funny. He does not know how to cook, and it shows. Actually, he cooks very well now, but when he first started, apparently he couldn't cook at all. Um, he made a some kind of a forest-looking cake for Christmas, and it was like cocoa meringue. I'll do anything with meringue. Meringue is awesome, and this like really rich chocolate cake. It looked delicious. I might have to try that one myself because it actually looked doable. So anyway, my candy recipe called for German chocolate, and I don't got none of that. So I put some what do you call it? Dark chocolate in instead. So we'll see how that turns out. I think it'll be fine. It's just chocolate and peanuts. How could possibly go wrong, other than it overcooking? Cross your fingers. So reality roundup. We will start with Sister Wives, which I finally watched. Yeah, I know it was on Sunday. I finally watched it this morning. This is how my week is going, and next week doesn't look any better. Um, so we start with Cody doing a project. I suspected wrongly, but I don't know for sure. I'd have to ask my son on that one. He asked Robin to help. Apparently, he always wants help, but really, you just stand there and hold things, according to Christine, which seems about right. Robin calls herself his beautiful assistant. She says she coined the term for when she helps him because she just stands there and holds things. Mary said she never got called that because they weren't getting along by that time. And Coldy says it's lovely assistant, not beautiful assistant. So who knows who did what? I think I think he put something on top of the mantle on his fireplace, some kind of extra mantle. That looked like, but he glued wood. Suspicious to me, but I could be wrong. Um, then when they're done, he kisses Robin, and she complains about his pokey mustache. She doesn't like it. She doesn't like it one bit. He offers to shave if he gets more kisses, and she says yes. That will happen if he shaves. They cut to Christine, who says kissing a man without a mustache is like eating egg without salt. It's not. Mary likes facial hair. Janelle says it depends on the individual, but she doesn't really care one way or the other. So he cuts it in an anchor style without the mustache, and I will show you what that looks like. Hold on just a second for me. Sorry. I guess I should have been more prepared on that one, huh? Okay. Not shift enter. So, okay. So here we go. So it looks like this bottom one that says anchor here, except no mustache. Just so you know what it looks like. All right. Personally, I am not into facial hair. If you're going to have a beard, though, you have to have the mustache. Otherwise, you just look stupid or Amish. Lauren says, hi, Lauren. Lauren says, comparing kissing to eggs is so sickening. I think it's just a metaphor, honey. I don't think she meant it seriously. Anyway, I don't like beards without mustaches. I think they look dumb. You can look Amish if you want, because I know a lot of Amish people do that too, which is fine. Amish, it's kind of a cultural thing, but it's not for everybody else. We go to Maddie's house, and she woke up Janelle at 6, saying she was in full labor and the baby was born before 12:30. And Janelle says that was quick. Maybe I'm weird, but I know people who've had their baby when their head was still in the closet. They were listed on the birth certificate as the birth attendant, because nobody else got there in time. She literally had her baby with her head in the closet that she had been cleaning. That is a quick birth. Another one of my friends has very, very, very short births. If she had a third, she'd probably have to be induced because they come so quickly. Lauren thinks it's a bad metaphor. Maybe, but I don't know. I'm not in charge of metaphors. um, so I consider a quick birth is when you're in fear of not getting to the um, hospital in time. Otherwise, it's a short birth, which is different than quick. Janelle says it's been an honor to have been at all her grandkids' births, and that's nice and good for her. Then we go to Christine, and they are discussing how much money she spends. Sounds like it's kind of for legitimate reasons, like birthdays and anniversaries and graduations and stuff like that. But she is getting deliveries daily, which seems a bit much. Um, she said that earlier, when they were younger, they didn't have any money, and she would have to put back stuff back at the store. And she says it's really embarrassing to realize you overspent at the checkout. She was really embarrassed by that. I felt bad for her. Mary agrees that money was tight and they'd have meetings on which bills to pay that week or month. Christine, back to Christine, she says that after they started making money, everyone contributed equally to the family pot, and Cody would make the spending decisions, but they would take out what they needed. David's wondering what happens when Christine no longer has an income and they're just relying on him. And she admits she overdoes it now because she can. When you can, you sometimes do. And he worries about how that's going to go. And she says, "Well, I'll discuss it with you. I'm not going to just spend money out of pocket without telling you I'm going to spend money," which is good. I mean, she is worried about truly going to college. And she warns David that more packages are coming. And he says he's going to go on and order stuff to keep up with her. And she says, "Game on." And he answers, "No, I don't want to." He really doesn't want to spend the money. Um, Christine says her marriage now is a partnership and conversations don't make her physically ill like they did when she was married with Cody. No one should have to live like that. You shouldn't get physically ill and have to go to bed because you have to have a conversation with your husband. All right, so the new baby's here and they're calling her Millie, sometimes Millie Billy. Her name is Amelia Estelle. The Estelle means star and is in Garrison's honor because he loved the night sky. And she was due on his death day. So, but she was late, so they don't have to combine her happy birthday with sorrow. So I think that's a good thing. Then we go on to Coyote Pass. If I never hear Coyote Pass again, it will be too soon. Cody went and got the picnic tables, and because they got an offer finally, a good offer, and and earnest payment and all of that. He called his house a castle. Ugh. And then we go to Mary in Padawan and or Parawan, sorry, I think it's Parawan. I don't know why I call it Padawan. Parawan, Utah, and she's renovating the house again. She did have a friend move in to her with her. Um, they said it was temporary, but they don't know how long temporary is. She said she does not trust Robin, and she probably shouldn't, or at least not trust Cody. And she seems open to a renewed friendship with Robin, which I hope she's thinking long and hard about that because they're a package deal. Mary says she hasn't talked to Cody since he went after her friend Jen. Jen, Cody thinks Jen is, oh shoot, I can't remember what he says. Anyway, he doesn't like Jen. Cody thinks Jen told Mary to leave, and I mean, she should have, because he was being abusive to her. He was being emotionally and romantically abusive to her. And of course, Cody can't take any accountability for his own actions ever. Mary is Cody over the Coyote Pass drama, and same girl, him too. I'm so tired of Coyote Pass. So Janelle went to Flagstaff because they all met in Flagstaff to do the paperwork for the Coyote Pass, and she's hanging out with her friends. And she says she's not looking for a guy. She wants to do what she wants for now. And good for you. Good for you. Her friend wants her to go on Tinder, and her other friend says she's not a Tinderella, which I thought was cute. And then it comes out that David and Christine met on Farmers Only. I did not know that. That's a juicy little tidbit. Um, Janelle says she's now looking for the opposite of Cody, someone who's easygoing and low maintenance, and I don't blame her a bit. So now we're having a wrestling conversation at the castle, and Cody was blaming Mary for dragging her feet on Coyote Pass, and she says the real problem was that he wanted a confidentiality agreement, and she was not into it. Um, and the producer did ask her. He says, "So if you had signed the confidentiality agreement, and Cody had um, sold it out from under you, would you have been able to talk about it?" She's like, "No, that's obviously she shouldn't have signed that, and thank goodness she didn't." So, Cody basically admits that he wanted to screw them over and sell it out from under her and Janelle. Or he talked to Janelle about it, and Janelle's like, "Yeah, I guess you could sell it out from under us," because he had names on all of them at the time. Um, I will give Robin credit for keeping Cody from screwing everyone over. So good for Robin on that. But this just proves that Cody's not a good person. He's not a good person. If he was a good person, that wouldn't even cross his mind to screw his ex-wives over like that. And I put in here, be careful, Robin. Robin says there was more effort put into trying to hurt each other than they put into the relationships. I have not seen that. The only person I've seen purposely trying to hurt others is Cody. Other women were not purposely trying to hurt anyone. They just needed something different because that relationship was not working for them anymore. And that is Robin's fault. And Cody's, more Cody's, but mostly Cody's, but also Robin's, because she didn't actually do anything to solve the problems. So they built this up like everybody was sitting in their cars, like a Western standoff. But Mary and Janelle both get there and immediately get out and hug each other. So it wasn't exactly like they said. They got back into their cars because it was cold. And then Cody and Robin showed up in their car and they just sat there. And Robin says it's a sign that Mary and Janelle aren't willing to talk, but Robin and Cody are the ones sitting in the car waiting for the realtor because they don't want to contact Mary and Robin, or Mary and contact with Mary and Janelle. I'll put Robin with Mary and Janelle. It's like, Robin, you're sitting in the car. You could have gotten out too. You could have gotten out and made the first move. They're sitting in their cars. They already said hi to each other. You don't know what happened because you were late. You don't know what happened when you got there. He probably told them the wrong time. That would not surprise me. So that's pretty much the end of it. The realtor had still not gotten there when they ended the episode. The episode was dedicated to Janelle's friend who was in the episode, Angela Moody. Apparently, she died unexpectedly due to an opioid addiction. Um, if you are taking painkillers and you can't stop, please get help. Please, please, please get help. Um, everybody knows someone that has been addicted to opioids. Get help. You can do it. You can get help. It's out there. If you notice that you're taking too many meds, either enlist somebody in your family to lock them up and only give them to you at certain times if you actually need them, or if you're past the point where you don't really need them anymore and it's an addiction, you need to get treatment for that. And treatment is out there. You do not want to experience you don't want do not want your family to experience what happens if you don't get help, because you won't be here anymore. so you won't experience anything. But your family will have to live with the consequences. All right, that's all I got. I meant to do two today, but I only got to one. I only managed one because of that cake. Cake was very interesting, by the way. So I guess we'll start with petty revenge. My boss refused to promote me or give me reasonable raises, so I developed skills on the company dime that got me a 100% raise at another company. Wow. Early in my career, I worked as an engineer for a defense contractor for about 4 years, getting my typical 2 to 4% raises and standard promotions that take years and years to qualify for. I realized that my current role, I was pretty much maxed out for the foreseeable future and I would be scraping by for years more. So I tried to get on the management track and got a lot of credit, got given a project engineer position to prove myself. I managed a team of 4 engineers, a designer, and 2 admins. We designed and manufactured systems that made $1.6 million dollars in sales our first year of work. That's a lot of money. We got the company a patent. We were nominated by the USAF and became finalists as a DoD contractor technical team of the year. I don't recall the exact wording. We're flown to DC for a big award ceremony. I spent 100 days away from my family that year, traveling to test locations, customers, vendors, etc. It was brutal, but we were wildly successful. When annual performance reviews came in, mine was a 10 out of 10. I was thrilled. I found out one of my team makers, who had a different manager, was promoted early to a senior position, and that I did not, and I just got the standard 3% raise again. I was livid. I don't blame you. That's not fair. I had a big meeting with my boss, and his response that he didn't think my team member deserved a promotion or a big raise, but he wasn't their boss. So basically, I should just try real hard and we'll see next year. How many times have you heard that? F that. I basically quiet quit and was just barely worked my 40 hours and went home. I never traveled unless really wanted to, and I never stayed late. I took almost every other Friday off to burn through my leave. I took all of my sick days, etc. My mental health was much better. The only real thing I did extra was take advantage of the education budget our group had but rarely used. My previously promoted coworker, who I really like personally, started taking MBA evening classes that the company reimbursed him for, but they came with obligations to stay there for X amount of years. That's fairly common. If you stay 5 years, we'll pay for your master's degrees type stuff. They also had a nice budget for software training without any such stipulations, so we both signed up for FEA and 3D modeling classes. We traveled around together taking these classes and building our resumes. After about a month, the classes were finished. I secretly started applying for jobs that required those specific skills and quickly got hired for a position with a base annual income that was 2% my existing rate, plus it paid overtime. I put in my notice and my boss was really upset. We just paid you to travel all over to learn these new skills that we need. Don't you have any loyalty or guilt? How much are they paying you? Let's see if we can match it. That's more than I make. Well, sir, you are underpaid. And it was with OT I made about 3 times the following year for a competitor. Life-changing good times. So good for you. That's good. Pop Tap says, "That's more than I make," is hilarious. It is. Appropriate News replied to that. Company wanted to hire me as a direct engineer years ago. I asked for the going rate for aircraft stress analyst. About 1.5 years later, I worked for them as a contractor, same position, and made more than double what I had asked for in 1 year with much better benefits. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I don't understand companies anymore that do not want to pay their employees. Like they're all about the shareholders and not the employees. People want to go back to the 50s. We can do that. We can do that part of the 50s. I wouldn't have a problem with that because it was customers first, employees second, shareholders third back then. It's not anymore. Now it's shareholders first, customers second, and maybe there'll be something left over for the employees. Not very often, though. If you're doing stuff like GM and the tech companies, that's even worse because they just cut the bottom 10% every year, no matter what. Eventually, you're going to be in the bottom 10%, whether it's because of your own doing or someone else's. So you will be cut eventually. Somebody on the GM Reddit thread said, asked if they should be looking, and somebody else answered, "You should always be looking, always." Okay. Our next read is from Am I the Jerk? Entitled Planted Very Hot Chilies in Front Yard to Teach Thriving Neighborhood Kids a Lesson. I think they meant thieving. I don't think they meant thriving. AITJ, my front yard is gets really good sun and is well sheltered, so I have a little veggie patch there. To give you the picture, I have a large native tree that grows recumbent along the front, forming a gorgeous natural barrier, but you can still access the yard easily from my driveway. I live in a quiet street, and everyone knows the patch is there, and the nice neighbors stop to chat with me when I work in it. I very often share the produce tomatoes, zucchini, radish. Every 3 years, an embarrassment of beans. If you know, you know. Usually it's an embarrassment of zucchini, to be honest, but every 3 years is an embarrassment of beans. Like, yeah. Like, if you're nice to me, I'll give you some fruit, some veggies, and maybe some fruits if I have those in my yard. We used to have a good cherry tree in our yard. We got a pie a year, and I never made pie. Lately, I've noticed veggies going missing and the plants often being damaged. I thought someone was hungry, so I started putting out little baskets of ripe veggies they could just take with a sign saying free to good home and from my backyard patch. But they were ignored and the damage continued, so I placed a hidden trail cam in the tree and caught some of our neighbors' teenagers coming to the property and laughing as they ripped up plants and stuffed the veggies in their pockets and faces. Well, that's just rude. Teenagers, what the heck? You know better. You know better. Don't do this. Tried talking to their parents, but they were perhaps less than polite, more like verbally aggressive. So this season, I just planted chilies, Carolina Reapers to be exact. Those are supposed to be really hot chilies, and a couple of bird's eyes. I'm not familiar with the bird's eyes. They are commonly available at my local Bunnings. I put up a sign which is lit up by fairy lights at night saying, "Very hot chilies, please do not touch." Then I sat back and watched and enjoyed watching them ripen. Yesterday, I noticed a few were gone, and when I came back from my night shift, I checked the footage, and the same kids had decided to try them. The results were fantastic. I haven't laughed that hard in a long time. I feel somewhat guilty, though. I know dang well those things hurt like heck. They picked them with their bare hands, so good chance they got a second dose in the eyes or similar if they didn't wash them first. I'm torn between gales of laughter as I watch the footage and guilt. AITJ, I'm in Australia, by the way, is why they're ripening now. Edit. 1. No further damages to my property a little over a week later. 2. I'm not going to post the video or audio, you sickos. They're minors. And some legal concerns in my state if I do, potentially. Also, really, really don't need anyone stupid to identify my yard and me to doing something nasty. I mean, you can plant what you want, right? Now, you're not responsible for people stealing your stuff. That's my take on it. Sometimes you are, unfortunately, but that's dumb. Zibby with an XI. NTJ, growing natural pest deterrents at a time-honored gardening tradition. You even posted lit signage that any intelligent being could read. Teenagers, none of us is as dumb as all of us. The OP says, this is true. I forgot they deter pests. Do I grind them and spread them for that purpose, or will I have to look that up? So I would say not, definitely not the jerk in that case. Definitely the kids were, and they got what they deserved. Don't steal other people's stuff out of the yards. Come on. You're not a good person if you're stealing. And kids do make mistakes and do stupid stuff, but that was beyond. That was beyond just stupid stuff. Our next read is from Entitled People, entitled Close Your Curtains So I Don't Have a View into Your Home. Adding to add, Google tells me their window to mine is about 210 feet. I mean, that's not that far, I guess. We moved into a new build a few months ago. We just received a mailed letter from a house that is behind ours. Note that there is a wash and a road between us. I shall type it word for word. Dear neighbor, congratulations on your new home. I live across the way from you in Sunflower. Although our homes are not exact very close to each other, I can see directly into your home from my room and backyard. I can clearly see you as you walk around your kitchen and even when you get things from your refrigerator. While I'm happy for our new neighbors, I would prefer not to have a view into your home when I am in my living room and backyard. So avert your eyes. For your privacy, you may want to consider some blinds or curtains. I hope you enjoy your new home and neighborhood, your neighbor Carol. So let me get this right. We have to close our curtains so you can have yours open? You've been watching us in our house like a creep? F you, Carol. My curtains will be open, and think some naked dancing in the kitchen is required. Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine Carol's reaction to that? Because Carol's real name is Karen. Board Ryan says, take the letter and write, nah, fam, we good, and leave it in their mailbox. Edit, as a dozen or so individuals have informed me, don't put it in the mailbox. Tape it to the door. Otherwise, the Postmaster General and his secret police will kidnap you in the middle of the night and send you to South Sudan for interfering and tampering with the mailbox. I should send that to my son because we just had this conversation yesterday or the day before. It was probably the day before. He was over to pick up the kids. Um, Somebody stuck a flyer for a lost cat in our mailbox, which I don't care. That's fine, but I should I should send that in to him. You know, it's a federal offense, and we're both laughing that it's a federal offense. Like, I don't think this is what they mean by federal offense. Like, come on, what it costs the government $10, please. Somebody said, don't respond. And as you wish said, sign the window. Carol, if you can read this, you are rudely staring. Go get a hobby. But Carol's hobby is peeping. That's her hobby. We had a ultra nosy HOA prez one time. She would tiptoe up and peer over fences into people's patios. I don't think you're allowed to do that. I took my happy self to the sex shop and got one of the free magazines. I spread it out on the centerfold and made it sign that says, Pat, if this offends you, stop being nosy. And I never saw her peeping again. I'm not saying she didn't do it, but she was not doing it to us. That's a traumatize them back episode right there. I think you should peep on Carol and write her a letter telling her everything she did that day. I think that's what should happen. Oh. So next we have an update from Mother-in-laws from Hell. My mother-in-law has a plan to take my unborn child. I hope we haven't read this yet. Yeah, I don't think we have. So I'm pretty sure we did read this. Let me. Oops, I don't need that one. Let me find it. Oh, what is this? Saw it. There we go. Okay. Well, we didn't. Hmm. I could have sworn I read that one. All right. Well, I guess we'll go and find the original then. Nope, can't do that because it hadn't. Maybe it got deleted or something. Anyway, make sure I'm on the right one. Yeah, I am. Hmm. All right. Well, from what I remember, this lady got wind that her mother-in-law was gonna had a plan to take custody of her child. So this is the update. My mother-in-law has planned to take my unborn child. Update. A couple of weeks ago, I shared a post about my mother-in-law's alarming plan to take my baby, whether through fighting for custody or even kidnapping once she's born. I wanted to every bit of it seriously, and I put those suggestions into action. I contacted CPS and I made a report detailing her plan to frame me as an unfit mother in an attempt to gain custody. My husband and I also called to confront her about what we knew. She immediately went into denial because, of course, you do. You wouldn't be sane if you admitted everything up front. Screaming, crying, and insisting she'd never do something like that, while heavily guilt tripping my husband. By the end of her tantrum, she had managed to tug at his emotions, but I stayed firm. Afterwards, she blocked me on social media, and I blocked her as well. I don't want her having any access to me or my baby, even through, photos or posts. So far, my husband agreed to honor my boundaries and keep her completely away from my child. However, today something happened that really shook my confidence in that promise. He came home about an hour late from work with a gift bag, a smile, and handed me $100 in cash. Turns out he met up with his mother on the way home. She gave him a baby shower gift since I didn't allow her to come to our baby shower, and a card addressed to my baby too. It's not your baby. That specific reference was something I already told him makes me feel uncomfortable, as she's repeatedly referred to my daughter as her baby. He brushed it off, saying I was overreacting and that was a nice gesture. Mind you, I have been asking him for the last couple of weeks if he has heard from his mother, which his answer has always been no. It got worse. Inside the card was $200. He told me he had an extra 100 in his wallet. I asked to see it and he refused. It turns out she gave him $1,000 in cash and told him not to tell me how much it was, and if he had to make it seem like a much smaller amount. When I asked to see the money, he refused at first and only admitted the truth after pressing. So now, after we agreed on everything we agreed on, so now after everything we agreed on, it feels like she's buying her way back into his good graces and he's letting her. I told him that she is manipulating him to allow herself back into our lives. Her response was, "That's not a very nice thing to say." I'm heartbroken and frustrated. I hate that it feels like it's them versus me right now, especially at such a vulnerable time in my pregnancy. But I want to be clear, my stance hasn't changed. My mother-in-law will not be around my baby, period. Now she's trying to buy the baby. She's trying to buy the baby. Hopefully there's another update next month or after she has the baby. I don't know how far along she is. Right Cucumber says, you might need to go to your family now and have the baby there. Call this a wake up to your husband. Be blunt. You've lost faith in him to protect you and the baby. So for now, you won't be anywhere she can get to you or the baby. And Ordinary Mango says, sound advice, leave and don't tell him. And then when you feel safe, have a conversation. Cassian says, even better if possible. If you have family in a different state, go there, especially a state with better protections for the mother and no grandparents' rights. Hell, if you have to, get a family member to move there with you. It makes custody case that much harder if they have to cross state lines to pursue it, especially if it's a sizable difference. And if you already live there when the child's born, then that by default is the state of residence of the child, as opposed to if you go there after you have the child. He can try to pursue kidnapping charges or just generally get you into a lot of trouble with the court over it if you already have the child, I mean. Yeah, that sounds scary. I think she's trying to buy the baby from the husband, and it looks like he might go along with it, at least to a point. And he needs to understand that his mother is not right. All right, our next read is from What Should I Do? And it's entitled, What Should I Do About a Petty Annoying Neighbor? And it does have a letter that I can share. And it says, I'm going to keep putting stuff in your trash because I'm petty and it's obviously annoying you. It's high key funny. Plus, you don't know who it is. Your trash can is now our trash can. Thank you, neighbor. That's rude. I would put a lock on my trash can. It's captioned, clearly this person let their intrusive thoughts win. I'm pretty sure it's the neighbor in the apartment across from me. But I have no proof and I also don't know how to take preventative measures. It's not that it's annoying, it's that it's gross and they're clearly watching my house. Extension Ground says easy, UV reactive invisible ink. Order online, then apply to trash can lid. Then simply walk in the hall with a UV flashlight on every doorknob. You'll find him. Oh, that's a good idea. That's a very interesting idea. Shepard says everyone else has some funny answers, but you're the one with real solutions. Back it up people. There's a detective at work here. Advanced line said, yep, then dump their crap on a pile right on their doormat, and they'll get the hint eventually. Gears One says, I had to do this to a neighbor who was dumping their crap in my trash can. They threw, among other things, their mail in my can. So once I learned who was responsible, I bagged it up, brought it to the porch, and then cut the bag open on the bottom. I wouldn't have minded or even noticed a few things, but they filled my bin to the brim hours after the garbage collectors came, leaving me no space for my own crap. Effers lived right across the street, and so it was no inconvenience to return their misplaced belongings. I think this is the same person that was crossing the street last week that we saw the other day. Was that last week or just earlier this week? Who was literally walking across the street and putting their trash in the neighbor's trash can after the garbage truck went by? Like, why are you doing this? It's your trash. If you forget to put it out, that's on you, not on your neighbor. Stop abusing people. Our next read is from Malicious Compliance. Stop reporting about office burnout. Okay, done. Uh-oh. My field of work has a high turnover and a high burnout rate. As a result, my company promotes transparent conversations with staff members to ensure we are all implementing self care, taking PTO as needed, and asking for managerial support when overwhelmed with tasks. Well, that sounds good in theory. Last year, my work began to suffer. I was struggling losing two close family members suddenly, and it was transparent in the hopes that they would understand why I was withdrawn and had lower productivity. My manager wrote me up as a result of my burnout, citing that I was using our one on one inappropriately, causing stress among the team with my grief and talking about being burnt out too much. You have to give leeway to somebody who's just lost one person, much less two. The write up included every single one on one documentation of what I asked when I asked for help with burnout. Management instructed me to stop talking about burnout. No problem. I stopped bringing up burnout, being transparent, and asking for support. About 2 months later, I requested a 7 week leave of absence, citing extreme burnout and mental health issues. Management was shocked and angry that I did not tell them I was struggling or burning out. I handed them a copy of my write up and said the action plan I received stated I could not talk about burnout anymore. Management was scolded for inadvertently creating a hostile work environment where staff couldn't ask for support. I got 7 weeks off and partial pay, and they had to cover my job for that entire time I was out. That's good. I hope they're feeling better. And they do say they're feeling much better now. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, if you're encouraging your employees to do something and then they do it and you don't like it, that's on you, not on them. You can't tell them to now stop doing it unless the policy actually changes or the workplace actually changes, which in that case it did not. Okay, our next read is from AITAH, and it's not here. What the heck? It was removed by the filters, which means he probably got canned. Okay. Let me if I can find it. All right, that's okay. We have more. We have more people. Didn't work. 'Cause I hit the wrong button. Okay. And that wasn't true. Oh my goodness. Um, hold on, I gotta do stuff now. This is like the third one in 2 days. People need to stop getting themselves banned from Reddit. All right, let's try this one. Oh, here we go. Okay. We're good. Okay. This is from AITAH. AITAH for telling my neighbor that the reason her son is in jail is solely due to his fault and not the victim's. Probably not. And there's trigger warning for abuse, so be warned. So my neighbor's son was on in the police academy, and I guess he had to do, I don't know, I call it an internship at a juvenile facility. I have to ask if that's normal. One of the inmates there was a 13-year-old girl, so apparently this girl stripped naked to entice him and they had sex. Oh my. Don't do that. I don't know whether they got caught or the girl told, but it was found out and he's in prison for unlawful sexual activity. Is doing 25 to life with no chance of parole. As he should. Wow, I am shocked. I am shocked that he got this much. Usually they get 5 years at the tops. Wow. Where is this? I want to know where this is because I want to move there. My neighbor is saying it's the girl's fault because she enticed him and men can't control themselves. Because men are just children, apparently. Younger than 13 years old. Brain dead people. I told her that was BS. Men have control. He was the adult, and it was responsibility to tell her to put her clothes on and walk away. She got mad saying men can't control that. I said, so you're saying that he has no reasoning ability and that he is no more than an animal, which is just another reason he should not be around vulnerable demographic. Yeah, he's not, if he has no self control, he should definitely not be a police officer and he should definitely be in jail as a protection for the public. Oh, people like that just irritate me so much. I had someone say to me once about a predator that the predator shouldn't be punished the rest of their life for what they did. But the victim has to deal with it for the rest of their life, so why not? Oh, these people drive me nuts. She called me an a-hole and went back to her house in tears. I told her only a-holes in the scenario was her and her son. Her for trying to blame a child and him for falling for it and abusing a child. My husband says he knows I was right, but I should have said nothing. No, you shouldn't. We've got to stop normalizing this behavior. We have got to stop normalizing abusive and predatory behavior. As a child who was abused and blamed for it by adults, I can't. I was raped when I was 7. Oh, poor thing. By an uncle, and my mom told me it was my fault because I enticed him by always being around. Oh, I can't with these people. A 7-year-old? Are you kidding me? She literally brought me to his house and she said I should have waited outside then and nothing would have happened. So what about I mean how young does this go? How about a 4-year-old? How about a 3-year-old? How about a 6-month-old? Are they enticing people by being around? So when my neighbor said that, it triggered me. Yeah, I can understand that. My husband hugged me and says he gets it and then apologized. But part of me wonders if I'm an a-hole for telling my neighbor the truth. No, absolutely not. Especially considering that. No, we have got to stop normalizing this behavior from men, primarily men. Women do it too sometimes. Chance contract says NTA, the truth is no less true just because some people don't want to hear it. Yep, that's right. Cheap Funded says, makes me wonder what else our innocent boy has gotten up to over the years that wasn't his fault. Jumping right to rape in a juvenile facility seems like a giant leap for someone trying to be a cop. He has a remarkably smooth brain. Yeah, no kidding. Wow. Wow. Cannot believe that. It's insane. I cannot believe that that woman thinks her precious little boy is so innocent that a 13-year-old child enticed him. That's like Megyn Kelly saying that the children that Epstein abused and trafficked were not really children because they were. And she has a child that age. She should know better. Sorry, that gets my blood boiling. It really makes me angry. Oh, well, next we have a happy story from Neighbors from Hell. It's entitled, My Dad's Neighbor Cut Down Trees from His Front Yard to Get a Better View. My dad lives on a hill, and his uphill neighbor has already complained in the past for wanting a clearer view, even though my dad's trees weren't all that tall and didn't block much. Fast forward to last week, my dad came home to find his j- jacaranda tree has been cut down. I wonder what that is. I'm not familiar with that. Oops. There we go. For some reason, my mouse is not cooperating with me. Okay. Jacaranda plant. Oh, it's pretty. I will show you what it looks like. It's nice and blue. This one is anyway. It's native to Argentina, Bolivia, and Paraguay. This is specifically a blue jacaranda or jacaranda, depending on if you are speaking Spanish or not. So that's pretty cool. It's a pretty tree. I don't know why anybody want to cut one down. So fast forward to last week, my dad came home and found his jacaranda tree had been cut down. He even saw the neighbor's gardener walking away right afterward. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any cameras there for proof. Hanu says cutting your neighbor's trees and bushes is illegal and you should sue your neighbor for damages. Yes. Yes, exactly. You should. Southern comments that I saw a post elsewhere where someone cut down trees in a camp property to give themselves a river view. The camp erected a large black tarp that sits on stilts to block the view, and the neighbors created by illegally cutting down the trees. That's some. Somebody says that cheap and petty. Perfect. Yeah, don't cut down your neighbor's trees. It's illegal. You can get in mega trouble. We read one recently where it was tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands. It can be hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on the tree, the age of the tree, what kind of tree it was, etc. And the rocks. Don't move people's. Just stay off of people's yards. Stay out. Stay in your own yard. Looking at you, neighbors. They're always throwing crap in my yard. Okay, next we have benign existence. Hopefully, this will be refreshing. Been putting out fresh water for the neighborhood cat that visits my porch, and today she brought her kittens to show me. Aw, they don't have a picture. I want to see a picture of the kitties. There's a cat in my neighborhood, clearly someone's outdoor cat, not feral, has a collar, that started visiting my porch about 6 months ago. She'd just sit there for a while, watch me through the window, and then leave. Aw, that's cute. You know, cats can have more than one family. They're kind of famous for it. I started putting a bowl of fresh water out for her since it gets hot here in the summer. She'd drink it, sit for a bit, and then go on her way, and this became a daily routine. Over the months, she got more comfortable with me. She'd let me sit outside near her. Eventually, she started rubbing against my legs when I'd come out. This morning, I heard an unusual sounds on my porch. I looked out, and there she was with three tiny kittens. She sat down, the kittens explored the porch, and then she looked at me like she was introducing them. I sat very still and watched. The kittens investigated everything: the water bowl, the doormat, the potted plant. She kept them close, but let them explore. After about 15 minutes, she gathered them up and they all left together. I feel like I just experienced something really special, like she trusted me enough to bring her babies to my porch. Like she was saying, "This is a safe place. These are my kittens. I want you to meet them." Aw, I she's delinquent on her taxes though. She owes a kitten tax. Candelabra says, "So lovely. She will quite likely gift you a kitten if you are not already planning to let them all move in. Cats start out subtle, but this one's letting you know that you are chosen." Oh, yeah. The cat distribution system. I think she just entered entered it. Spin Me Again says, "You're definitely getting one of those kittens. May as well embrace it now. The universe is about to distribute a cat to you." In fact, it says, or three. And Renee Pink says, or four. I don't think she's an outdoor. Yeah, if she was that hesitant to come up with you, she might just be feral and just happen to have a collar from somebody that lost her. Oh my goodness, I swear this was on here earlier. Ugh. All right, we did it again. We found yet another Reddit read that got deleted for some reason. What does this say? Oh, they deleted it themselves. I guess that's fair. Okay. It looked juicy. It says mother-in-law has been telling people she's my daughter's biological mother, and I just found out. That's wild. Okay, let's try this. Okay. All right, this is from Just No Mother-in-law, or Just No Mill, sorry. This is from Just No Mill, and the lie unravels 28 years later. So now that we are in no contact with Mill, a lie she told DH, dear husband, and I 28 years ago unraveled in front of my eyes yesterday. As I've mentioned in other posts, she's single and never married. 28 years ago, a friend of hers invited mother-in-law to rent her basement and to be her roommate. Mill thought this was a great idea, moved in. At the time, DH and I had been married 4 years and we had a 3-year-old son. DH had some training courses he needed to take in the city where mother-in-law lived, so the three of us were invited to stay at her house while this is happening. We had to stay for 4-day intervals each time during 3 training courses. So it was probably like Monday through Thursday, was training courses, and then they would go home on the weekend. My husband used to work kind of like that, out of out of state. After the training courses were finished, she asked to meet with us. She informed us that she would be moving out of this home and leaving her roommate situation because the roommate had an issue with me. Mill said that I can be off-putting, and her roommate felt I was lazy and took up too much space. The roommate said I wasn't welcome to stay in their home anymore, but DH could if it was just him or just him and little one that were in need of staying. Mill said it was her best martyr tone. She was making the sacrifice and the expense of moving out because she was not going to live where her daughter-in-law wasn't welcome. I was stunned and flabbergasted, mostly because I had made sure to remain out of the way as possible while we stayed there. It was a large home and it was easy to just keep our little space we took up for this brief bound of time. During the days I cleaned their home as a thank you, and with permission cooked all the meals for them while there was always a thank you. Yeah, that's not adding up, is it? That's not adding up one bit. We truly paid our way while attending these 3 courses, and the roommate had never been anything but kind to me. I felt devastated and didn't know that what I had done to make such a terrible impression that I got banned from this home, and my mother-in-law had to turn her life upside down and move out. I bought into it hook, line, and sinker, and I fully believed this lie. 28 years later, I just found this old roommate is living in the apartment beside me. Shocker how small the world is. What are the chances? She remembers all of us very well. She described Mill as well, let's just say unique and different personality. Not easy to live with. I had to request she move out. But I thought it was me she had an issue with. Her response was absolutely not, never. You guys were always welcome in my home. I had no issues with you. I just couldn't live with your mother-in-law. So my stinking Mill lied and made me out to be the villain in this situation all these years. The reason she's left to live all alone because she has a daughter-in-law that isn't easily liked by others. Bull crap. I can't believe I ever once challenged this and just blindly thought it was the truth. Thank goodness lies don't stay hidden. Eventually the truth always comes out. Wow, that's awesome in a way. Well, that's interesting. I did not know that just mother-in-law gives you a whole list of other Reddit reads. Wow. It doesn't say. Are they all from this? Yeah, they look like they're all from the subreddit. So it's just no Mill. She's been posting for 2 months on here. Oh no, she has more than 10 other posts in her history. Okay. I did not know that. I'll have to keep an eye on that thing. It's a bot. Some bots are good. Good bot. Thank you. So alternative juice says, "Gosh, I'm blaming you. Both she got to both one, give criticism and blame your direction, and two, make herself a martyr in one stroke." Says a lot about her personality. Maleficent Hey says, "I'm so pleased you met this woman again and she told you the truth about what happened." Yeah, me too. That's crazy. That is crazy. Why do people act like that? Okay, so here's a cool store, and it's captioned. The picture is captioned. Looks like they've had enough. Well, I will, of course, share the picture. It's pretty cool. It says vapes displayed on the wall are what we have available. Price increases are due to tariffs and import taxes. Don't hit on our cashiers. They're working. They're probably too young for you anyway. Stop it. No refunds, no exchanges, and staff will match energy. So mind your manners and don't be a pain in the butt. Oh yeah, more people should do this. Let's normalize this, okay? Normalize this so people will start acting correctly because we are taking too much BS from people. And sometimes I'm sure I'm guilty of that also. Alternative drama said, "I wish I worked at the store so I could actually stand up for myself without getting in trouble." Late Apricot says, "I manage the same type of store. I told two customers to F off this week. It's not as great as you think it is. You're by yourself, you got no support, and there really isn't much stopping someone from just popping off. Smoke shops bring in some of the worst customers. Most people just want their smokes or vapes in peace. Stoners wanting glass are usually chill. But you also got the tweakers and scratcher lotto addicts. Those effers suck." Yeah, it's not fun when you're by yourself at all. Not fun at all when you by yourself. Okay, this is from Infuriating, and it's entitled "When Will You Wake the F Up, America?" And it's from our Illinois. You know it's going to be probably about ICE. Northwest Chicago suburb ICE agents rip 15-year-old girl from car, slam her to the ground. She screams, "I'm 15," as man kneels on her neck. This is traumatic, but I'm going to show it anyway because I believe that just like in Vietnam, we need to see this stuff. We need to see this stuff. We need to know what's going on in real time in our country because it is not good, people. It is not good. I'm sorry it's so small. Oh, actually, I can do that. That's cool. Learned something new today, folks. Okay. Just driving a car. I don't have the sound on. Should I put the sound on? There does not seem to be any sound on this. That's scary. They just walked up right to the car, pulled somebody out, pulled out the passenger. She's the passenger driving the driver.
I can't hear people.
On the ground.
All back there.
Someone inside the house calling us and down.
Yeah, they're at home. I've learned.
Pick up the fourth girl. I swear I'm gonna start saving some of these and start just posting them when people say, "Oh, they're picking up illegals." Yeah, they're treating them like crap. If they even are illegal, who knows? The other person doesn't look very much older that they're taken away. Okay, everybody knows that you don't put two criminals in the same car. So obviously they're not criminals. These people, my husband said he probably yesterday that he probably couldn't get their ICE training. Um, and that is probably because, now how do I get it back? Oh, it's way over there. I can't even see it. Ugh. There we go. Okay. Well, that's bad. Um, top comment is the comment section is insane on that post. It probably is, and they're like, somebody answered, "It's chronically online losers and bots. What do you expect?" Biohacker says, "Are we sure this is even ICE or the FBI or the local PD? The video doesn't clearly show who they are at all." And somebody answers that there are news articles reporting today that a 15-year-old girl was arrested for a series of robberies. Since she's a minor and her name and photo are not released, but it could be her. Somebody says, "Now look what you did, brought facts into this conversation. How dare you?" Well, yeah, if she and somebody else says she was assaulted, felonies on on a train. So what is it? Is it a series of robberies? Is it felony assaults on a train? Uh, so somebody says this is Chicago PD, and they arrested this girl 2 or 3 years ago. It's circling again in all the major media outlets. You know, okay, so what if she did something wrong? Is this still the way we should treat people? Is this any way to treat people? No, it's not. They pulled her out of the car. They could have let her get out of the car by herself. She's lucky she wasn't black. She'd probably be dead. Because that's what we're doing now, apparently. All right, our next read is from Am I the Devil? My ex was right. And this is from, sorry, I got a drink. Throat's dry today. All right, this is from Am I the Devil? My ex was right. It's from Chew Off My Chest originally. My ex predicted my future in pain. Oh, we already read that one. We read this one. What are we doing here? Let's see. Oh, why are we reading yesterday's? I don't understand. Okay, we'll go to another one. Just a second. All right. This is from I'm on the Devil, and it's entitled I don't. The OP doesn't know why his girlfriend won't move in. It's from Two Hot Takes subreddit 2 years ago. My girlfriend blindsided me by saying she doesn't want to move in together permanently. AITA for being upset. Well, I mean, not really, but yeah. You're not the asshole. I mean, it's understandable to be upset, but then again, what are you going to do? You can't force somebody to live with you, sir. My girlfriend, 26 female, and me, 27 male, were planning on moving in together permanently. A couple of months ago, we took over the lease from someone we knew who needed to move but didn't want to pay the penalty for breaking his lease. We were in the process of deciding if we wanted to stay here or move into one of the other places that the property management company has available because his lease is up soon. But now my girlfriend has said she doesn't want to move in together permanently and that she's already left where we live now and taken most of her things. She completely blindsided me with this. The divorce came out of nowhere. She says she realized I'm not reliable. She says I don't do enough chores. She's never asked me for help, but she thinks I should just know when something needs to be done automatically. Um, yeah, yeah. Her examples were laundry and vacuuming. She also complained that I didn't help her when we were watching the sons of a friend of ours. Both of them have COVID, and they asked me and my girlfriend if we could bring their sons, 6 male and 4 male, to our place until they were better. I mean, people do things for friends. Our friends don't have family nearby, so we both agreed. My girlfriend had everything under control, but she never asked me for help or told me she was struggling. You shouldn't be asked to help out in your own home. If she had, I would have helped without question, but she always had a handle on the chores, and she had things with the boys were under control. I'm upset. I also don't think that someone who likes words from home has it easier than someone who can't work from home, or that just because she makes more means I should do more. I was thinking about proposing and we were planning on permanently moving in together, and she just blindsided me. We went from track to marriage to this. Sir, you are an idiot. Dragon Cats and Books says, I love this comment. When I was married, spending the evening in front of the fireplace while drinking wine and making a chore chart for my husband was what I referred was what I refer to as foreplay. Nothing inflames me like watching the concentration on a grown man's face as he brings himself closer and closer to deciding exactly which good job sticker he wants to buy me for him. He wants me to buy for him. There's nothing as stimulating as the unbearable tension that would build up between the two of us as he ran the tip of his finger down the chore list I'd written there. Oh, is he going to tease me again by saying he'll suck up all the dirt, the carpet with the vacuum, and then grabbing his rod and reel and heading to the lake instead? Will he trust his thick wads of assorted trash from the floor of his car into a can already on the verge of exploding? My cries that the garbage man is coming to dump his load ringing in his ears. Without fail, these encounters drove me out of my mind and made me scream and claw at him like a woman possessed. But at last, the street release of divorce consumed us, transporting me to whole new lodgings. I never knew just what a woman I could be until then. It's very poetic. I love it. Oh, that is funny. That is really good. I like that one. Leather Appearance says, life hack, if you're ever living with someone like this, tell them you're thinking of hiring a maid and for ask him for a list of things he wants the maid to do around the house. Watch how fast he demonstrates knowledge of exactly what needs to be done. Once he produces a list in hand, hand it straight back to him and tell him to get to work, then move out. You shouldn't have to trick an adult into admitting they know how to be an adult. Adulting is hard. My gosh, these people. Okay. Our next read is from Entitled Karens. Sorry, Karen, you can't take that on the ride. This is a story from good old Lagoon Amusement Park days as a ride operator. So this is over 10 years ago. I'm tasked with the first shift on the Sky Ride. Love Sky Rides. You wouldn't think so, but I do. Because I hate heights. I hate heights. And I love roller coasters and sky rides. Hate Ferris wheels and those swing rides. All right. Okay. So this was over 10 years ago, and I'm tasked to work first shift on the Sky Ride, a ride that takes riders up 60 feet into the air like a ski lift to take them to one side of the park. So the day is Saturday, a busy day during the summer months, and the Sky Ride gets a long line, and we are very strict for loose articles. If it's not strapped on your person, it's not going with you. Yeah, that's how things work. So the line is long, and while I'm loading people on the north end, I see something in my line. A jumbo-sized plush brown bear, one of those prizes you win at carnival games. I can't leave the ride to talk to the lady, which we will call Karen. She gets up to the station about 6 people from loading. I close off the loading for a second to talk to Karen. Me, hello, ma'am, how are you? Karen, fine, fine. What's going on? Me, well, that bear you're holding can't go on the Sky Ride. Do you have a locker somewhere or someone else to hang on to it for you? Karen, oh, I'll be fine hanging on to it. My arms besides the lap bar will secure it. You had a lap bar in this thing? This might not be the Sky Ride I'm used to. Me, again, ma'am, that is a loose article, and if it is not strapped on your person, I can't allow you to ride with it. So belt it on, baby. One more back and forth, she gets very angry with me while the line is getting longer and longer. I finally call the ride office to get a supervisor to come up so I can take care of the guests in line. Supervisor, what seems to be the problem? Karen, this person won't let me ride with this item here. I've seen many things going on this ride all the time. Supervisor, man, it's the park rules. We don't allow that on the ride. Do you know if an item falls from 60 feet in the air, it's a hazard. Plus, you could be fined for it. S- Karen, so you guys are strict. Fine. Can I leave this here? Supervisor, you can, but we're not responsible if it gets lost or stolen. Karen, you should be responsible. I'm a paying guest. You should. My supervisor stops her. Supervisor, ma'am, I suggest that you put that item in a locker with a non-rider. Karen, screw this park and then walks away. After that, the supervisor told me in the South, and if she comes close to the ride again, she will be kicked from the park. For context, Utah state law states that loose articles falling off the ride is fined up to $500. So this lady wanted to risk this fine just to carry her jumbo-sized bear. Still, it's not the only thing I've seen, from big coolers to pizza boxes. People just don't realize gravity can make things fall. Um, yeah. There's only 2 comments on this. That's weird. Um, so the sky rides I'm familiar with are more like a gondola ride, and you get in the gondola and it takes you to the other side of the park. Disney World used to have one. I don't think they do anymore. That was awesome. We once managed to get on the sky ride right when the fireworks were going off. I planned it that way. Um, it was spectacular. Highly recommend. Too bad you can't do that anymore. And the other one is Cedar Point. We um we do Cedar Point a lot. It's not too far from our house. My kids have season tickets every year because they'll go if you go twice with a season ticket, it pays for itself. And they go like every month or every other month, every 4 to 8 weeks. Um, to JoJo says, my first summer job was at a theme park years ago. While my ride didn't have the loose article problem, there were some people who felt they needed to climb on the back of the station platform to board the train. On 2 separate occasions, a guest got argumentative with me when I explained that they entered a ride restricted area and could have put themselves in danger, and that they were no longer allowed on the train for the day. Yeah, that's what happens. Um, I know Cedar Point, somebody lost something off of the not Velociraptor. Shoot, now I can't remember the name of it. Um, Raptor. It's a raptor. Hold on, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, raptor. Okay, it's raptor, I believe. Somebody lost something off a raptor because it does go upside down. And they decided that they would be clever and jump the fence, and they got themselves unalived, and somebody else lost a leg. So that's fun. Don't do that. The fences are there for a reason. They're to keep morons like you safe. And if you're an even bigger moron, you just climb the fence and bye bye. All right, this is from Server Life. Haven't gotten one this ridiculous in a while. And we already saw that too. What the heck? Or did you? Oh, nope, nope. We haven't not seen this one. Okay. It just looked really familiar like the last one I looked at, or one earlier this week. Um, so it says, thank you for the best experience. The food was amazing and the service was better. And it says, sorry, I'm not tipping. We are getting married in 6 months. And this was a $41 bill. So they could have left $8. Wouldn't have killed you. Even 7. Oh, people, telling you. And then it's captioned, oops. Then as a bonus, 2 guys came 3 minutes before closing, which we politely told them, let them know. And then one of them proceeded to order a ribeye and then happily let us know he's a chef and he's in the industry too. So he knows how much it sucks when you think you're getting done and then someone rings a ticket 3 minutes before close. Am I right? Ha ha ha. As he listened to his effing ticket print. Some people are so truly unhinged and shameless about it. After almost 10 years in this industry, some people's behavior still makes me feel physically ill and spiritually ill. Always hope you had an easy breezy killer Tuesday, made lots of money. So here's my thing about coming into restaurants late. The restaurant either needs, if they're closing at 10, they need to close at 9:30 just for these situations. And then we wouldn't have this. And everybody could be out by 10 or at least well on their way. And no, I don't go to restaurants at closing. I'm usually in bed by then anyway. The law says so they plan to do this at every dinner out, and you know there will be more for the 6 months up until the wedding. I can only imagine the poor caterers, photographers, and other working the wedding what they'll have to put up with. Yeah, I thought exactly that. Sorry for not tipping. We got married 6 years ago and had two unplanned pregnancies, bought a house way out of budget, and have $900 car payments, and just got the family of four-pack iPhones. It's probably true. These people in 6 years. All right, and now it's time for expectation versus reality. I like this one. I hope you do too. So, this was the expectation. Cookie Monster. I love Cookie Monster. He's one of my favorites. Cookie Monster and Eeyore. And this is what they got. Oh, oh, it's terrible. Oh my goodness, those poor people. That is not even, that's like Kermit in blue. That's not even Cookie Monster. Okay, I gotta take this off. I gotta take that off. Oh my goodness, that's horrible. Horrible. Why would you do that to somebody? And the top commenter is Culinary Siren. Definitely not what you asked for. The chuckle between the two was worth it. Oh, Rightful Ant says, very rarely does anything on this site make me laugh out loud, and this certainly did. Yeah, I guess it was flared failed expectation, but I didn't notice that. Oh, that poor, oh man. Man, imagine wanting Cookie Monster and getting that. Imagine. All right, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. I try to go live at least 4 times a week, usually about noon Eastern time. If you have a story of your own or come across a good one in the wild, please send us an email entitled submission. If you would like an email link to the current day's live, send an email entitled subscribe. And that email is biddybrunchbunch, BIDDY, all one word, at gmail.com. The email address is also in the description for your convenience. Next week, I may go on hiatus. I actually was planning on that. I was planning on taking Thanksgiving week off. I would need to go grocery shopping. I need to go Christmas shopping, and I might be getting roped into hosting a giant Christmas party or giant Thanksgiving dinner. So we shall see. And then we also have um, something else going on Friday, and we have Thanksgiving on Saturday at my nephew's. So, yeah, I probably won't be back until a week from Monday if I get a chance. If I get home, if I go shopping and I get home like at 3 or 4 o'clock, I might do one. We'll just have to see how it goes. Try not to overstress myself though. And if it definitely won't be on Wednesday if I'm hosting Thanksgiving because I will be cooking. I will be pre-cooking. You can cook some things ahead of time and warm them up, and it works perfectly fine and keeps the stress off of Thanksgiving Day. And I did buy a lot of really small breast in case we were having a mini Thanksgiving at our house. So now I got to figure out if we're having Thanksgiving, which I hopefully will know soon. It'll be on my husband's side because my nephew's on my side. Um, I will have to figure out something else. Maybe I'll get a ham or go really fancy and get like a prime rib. Never done that before. I can do it though. It's just meat. It's just meat. My turkey will come out really good though. I figured that part out. Thank you, Alton Brownish. I do, Alton Brown-ish. I don't really have the facilities to brine a turkey, but I do everything else like Alton Brown does, and it works really well. And I got a meat thermometer that like goes off when it's done. All right, then we have Zillow Gone Wild, and it says I feel like this applies to half the homes posted here. And it says it's a what I mean some kind of post from Twitter or Blue Sky or somewhere. It says this might be worth my future getting the worst education possible. It's only $110,000. That's pretty dang cheap for a 4 bed, 3 bath. Yeah. So strange that that was the top rated post when I looked on the first in that sub. Yeah, I'll also have to do that. Oh, geez. Yeah, so Sunday I'll be working on this. Sunday the 1st? Let's find out when the 1st is, because the 1st is when I do my stuff. Nope, the 1st is on Monday. So yeah, I'll still have to do Sunday because I got nothing for Monday. I got nothing for the 1st of December. So I guess it'll be December minus one one day. December minus November 31st. So anyway, um, oh come on, really? Am I overreacting? Also deleted. And these are like the top commented on posts of the month of um September, October. Oh, stinkers. This stinketh. And how come it's not on here? It is. I just can't see it. Oh, there it is. I had to scroll up. All right. It was entitled, am I overreacting for skipping Starbucks because of traffic with my pup? And no, you're never overreacting for doing that. Um, oh, okay. Oops. Okay. I have to do this. All right. So we're going to go with am I overreacting? AIO, am I missing something here? Is sailing condolences a bad thing? I read this one. I don't think we read it here, though. I remember reading this one. I don't think we read it here, though. So it's text messages, of course. It says, what's up, bro? Unfortunately, I won't be able to make it to your housewarming party. My grandma just passed away. I'm going to make a trip to Kalamazoo tomorrow. I don't know why I said Kalamazoo. I'm really sorry to hear that, Dave. My condolences are with you and the whole fam. Let me know if you need to talk. I'm here anytime. Condolences? Did you really just say condolences to my family? Have you lost your damn mind? Get the F out and don't ever message me. And the proper answer to that was, huh? Because, yeah, that's the proper answer to that. What? What does he think condolences are? I'm having a housewarming party tomorrow and I just moved to a new place. I've invited most of my close friends and family. One of my friend in screenshot messaged me saying his grandma unfortunately passed away. She had been in the hospital for the past week, so I was aware of her condition. This has just left me shocked and baffled. All he said was condolences, and I'm not sure why this flipped a switch. Pretty sure he's blocked my number as calls and messages are not going through. And Mox Folder says, Yeah, they're completely misunderstanding the word and now for a joke. I'm sorry and I apologize mean the same thing except for when you're at a funeral for Dimitri Martin. And it says, I think you're going to meet explain what condolences mean, told me. And where's my mind answered my best buddy. He thinks it means congratulations. Maybe he does have that confused, but geez, that's a choice. I think the dude is going to bitch to his family about his horrible friend who gave him condolences over his grandma's death, and hopefully someone in the family has two brain cells to rub together and can tell him what it actually means. Yeah, I hope so because this is, I mean, they're not overreacting, but that guy, their friend, is definitely overreacting. All right. Now we have traumatize them back. People on speakerphone in public places. And it's a, a tweet. Definitely a tweet, I'm pretty sure. And it says, I finally did it. Someone was talking on the phone with a loudspeaker sitting close to me and while we were on inside the bus. So I joined the conversation with full confidence and she gave me that, are you mad? Look, and I said, sorry, I thought it was a group call since you put it on loudspeaker for all of us. She quietly told the person, I'll call you back and ended the call immediately. That's a good idea. I like that. I'd be tempted to do that. I would definitely be tempted to do that. Somebody says, stealing this and doing it. We'll report back with the results. Yeah, you better, girl. Enforcer memes said, and then that was the last time anybody heard from her, him as he was shortly stabbed to death for attempting this in Peckham, Southeast England, where 90% of the population are ASBO children psychopaths. And holy crap, 1,000 upvotes. Wow. Thanks, everyone. I didn't realize how many people resonate with my brand of sarcastic, humorous wit. This is why we love Hate Reddit. Oh, yeah, for sure. You did good, Enforcer. It was good. Okay. Now we have a server error. All right. This is from Confession. We broke the generational Kirk, and Kirk. Okay, starting over. This is from subreddit Confession. We broke the generational curse, and I'm so proud of us. Update. Truck is clean. She brought in to get detailed today. Oh, gee. My youngest 25 lives with us. She went out with friends, overindulged a bit with drinks, and asked us to pick her up. Her dad picked her up as I had an early morning meeting. She vomited in his new car. Just basically burped and biffed everywhere. He got her home, told her to shower, and cleaned his truck as much as he could at 2 a.m. She came down while he was cleaning, and he told her just to go to bed and don't worry about it. She went to bed. The next day, he was filling me in on everything and did a deep clean of the truck. He was grossed out, but not mad. Never raised his voice, made sure she was okay, and did just what she had to do. She and I spoke about it, and it just hit me out of nowhere. She never thought for a second we were angry. She never even worried we were going to flip out. It was an accident, not the end of the world. We both come from families who, if you make a mistake, you were made to feel like the biggest disappointment ever. When you were at fault and you ruined everything and you didn't deserve to be loved, we had to walk on eggshells and learn to love in our house. Oh, earn love. Our girls don't feel that way at all. They never doubt our love. And damn, that feels so amazing. She learned a lesson as well. Don't mix drink types, wine and shots in this case. I mean, she's of age to drink. Why would you be? I mean, you can be upset, but to think that this would be like make them feel bad about it, no. Young people do things that are dumb, and home should be a safe place to land. Yeah. LB Falcon says, absolutely awesome. I myself am trying to do the same thing with my kids, much younger than yours, but same goal. Yeah, I did better than my parents did. I didn't beat my kids with a spoon, for instance. Um, it's pretty rough sometimes. Um, but I did better. And I think my son's doing even better than I did. So I think we all learn and grow and um, do better than our parents. The people who say, "Well, I did such and such and I lived," well, yeah, especially the people who grew up with their parents spanking them and like, well, you should spank your kids. I grew up being spanked and I'm fine. It's like, are you? Because you want to abuse your children. Because you want to abuse your children, you are not fine. You are not fine. The goal is to not abuse our children. And hitting your children is abuse. Hitting an adult is abuse. You can't hit another adult, it's illegal, but you can hit your kid. How does that make sense? Make that make sense. This is from Am I the A-hole? AITA for calling my friend's husband a useless piece of crap. And it's flared not the a-hole poo mode. I don't know what that means. My best friend and her husband have 4 kids, 8 female, 6 female, 4 female, and 3 female. My friend's husband is a great dad when someone is there to help. When he's alone with all 4 kids, he gets overwhelmed and freezes. I mean, I suppose if you're not with the kids 100% of the time, that can happen. When we were eating, my friend went to the bathroom and the 3-year-old followed her. The 3-year-old came running back saying her mom was throwing up. All of the kids ran to the bathroom, followed by me and my best friend's husband. I helped her clean up while her husband went to get her nausea medication and a thermometer. That sucks. That sounds like neurovirus when it comes on fast like that. When he came back, I asked him to get the kids out of the bathroom so she could have some space. After we got the kids out, I took her temp and it came back at almost 104. Holy cow, you should be taking her to the ER like pronto. 103 and you should be seeing a doctor if it lasts more than an hour or two. 104 you should be going to the hospital. You can get seizures from that. So I went to get her some Tylenol and water. I get back and all the kids are in the bathroom again because their dad can't keep them away from the bathroom for 2 minutes. Okay, that's not anything to be upset about. That's kids. That's just kids. Normal kids. I gave her the Tylenol and water, and she almost immediately starts to vomit again and then passes out. Her husband just stood there while I was trying to get her into a recovery position and get the kids away from her and call 911. Okay, it sounds like he just froze from trauma, not necessarily because of the kids. Yeah, I think you're that a-hole. I managed to get all of them out of the bathroom, and her husband is coming back every 20 seconds, asking if I can call their nanny to come help with the kids, if I can go to the hospital with her. I didn't start the dishwasher, nor, or does he need to hand wash the youngest sippy cups, etc. Sounds like he's just panicking, to be honest. When my friend regained consciousness, he even started asking how to do bedtime for the little ones. Did she wash their pajamas yet? Did they get screen time for that day, or can he put on a movie? I told him his wife couldn't hold his hand right now, and he just had to figure it out. He told me not usually the one that deals with this, and he's trying his best. Then he goes back to asking what stories the kids like. When what setting does he put the sound machine on, and how do they like their milk? I just snapped and told him to figure it out on his own and called him a useless piece of crap. At that point, yes. At that point, yes, he is being useless. Um, if you don't know these things about your kids, and you should, parents, both of you, should know these things about their kids. If you don't, and your spouse is literally going to the ER in an ambulance, you need to figure it out. You need to make your own routine. It doesn't matter. They'll get to sleep eventually. It doesn't really matter what the routine is. They can have a break in it. It's okay. And if they can't have a break in it, that's an issue too. It's been nearly a month and he still acts all pissy when I stop by the house. My friend says he'll get over it, but my boyfriend thinks it was unnecessarily rude and he was trying his best. See, if that's his best in that moment, and then what's his best has not been good all this time. AITA for calling him a useless piece of crap when he couldn't handle his own kids while his wife was experiencing a medical emergency. No. Traditional bench says NTA, wife unconscious. He's asking about bedtime stories and sippy cups. Sometimes harsh truth is needed. Somebody answers NTA, he froze in an actual emergency. Bedtime routines can wait until when someone's passing out. Exactly. Exactly. Pippi Longstocking, he didn't freeze. Pretty sure he's never been had to parent before. I'm 100% certain he'd call himself a great dad without ever having looked after the kids without relying on his partner to do most of the mental, emotional, and physical work. And Fancy Custard says he's fun time dad. Yeah, probably. Open Eyes says, I'm pretty sure he calls it babysitting when he has to watch his own kids. Yes, watching your own kids is not babysitting, it's parenting. It's parenting. And your spouse should not be telling you how to do it. You should know. You should have figured it out already by the time how the oldest kid's 8. You've had 8 years, almost a decade to figure this out, and you haven't bothered. The divorce came out of nowhere. I have no idea why. Just saying. This is from I Don't Work Here Lady, and it's entitled We Don't Serve Your Kind Here, Get Out. It was laundry day, and as fortune had it, I was wearing a dark t shirt, black jeans, and dark shoes. I made the mistake of going out dressed this way to a big box hardware and building supply that is big on orange aprons. So if you don't have the orange apron on, why are people bothering you? I just wanted to buy a bag of masonry lime. It comes in 50-pound bags, which I can carry on my shoulder to the checkout and my car because I don't like carts. But it isn't comfortable for long periods. So understandable, even a big guy that would get uncomfortable pretty fast. An older man wearing a MAGA hat came up to me and started demanding I load his cart, not a flatbed type, with bags of concrete mix. He said, "Get me 3 of this mix." If he had been more polite, I might have also been more polite, but instead I said no, and I started to walk away. I am 60 years old and I can pick up a 50-pound bag of something and put it in a cart. Just saying. And then I can take it out of the cart and put it in my car, and then I make my husband do the rest. He grabs my arm, the one on the side with the 50-pound bag, and starts yelling, "It's your job to help me." Now I'm a Gen Xer going gray. I'm not a small guy. I have resting done with this face. I am one of the last people someone should think this is how someone in their hardware store concierge. I told him we don't serve your kind here. Get out. I waited a few seconds while I registered this and then started to say something before I cut him off, saying, "I'm going up front to report you." He followed me without touching me again, all the while saying, "What do you mean, my kind?" And, oh, I know what they mean. Look at your hats, huh? And you can't refuse me service, and who are you to talk to me this way? When we got up front, I walked up to the register and started checking out. You might think this would tip him off, but no such luck here. He walked to the first orange apron wearing person, and he saw and tried interrupting their conversation with another customer. I did not pay attention to the details, but I checked and walked away before he sorted it out. Thank heavens for self checkout. She who loves to draw says, I feel bad for the actual employees who have to deal with the aftermath. I do too, but I'm so sick of these guys. I'm so sick of people acting entitled like that. So ask nicely for people to help you, and they will most of the time. I have to ask all the time for people to help me when I'm in Walmart because I cannot reach the top shelf. I've stopped getting pop there because I can't reach the top shelf. It's got this weird um plastic barrier up, acrylic barrier. I can't reach over that. I can't even reach to the top of it, much less get pop out. It's ridiculous. My poor husband, I'm home all day. I can do whatever. He has to work full time. He has to go get his own pop now because I can't do it. I can't wait for Kroger to open. I can't wait for Kroger to open. Yeah, we're getting a new Kroger in town. I cannot wait. Miss my Kroger. Okay, this is from our overheard pee prevention on a plane. Oh my. I was sitting next to a pregnant woman and her boyfriend or husband or whatever on the plane when I heard the following. Pregnant woman, I need to pee. Partner, you can't go now, we're descending. Pregnant woman, I heard the pilot. Partner, how badly do you need to go to the bathroom? Pregnant woman, if we stop talking about it, maybe I can stop thinking about it. Partner, I'll shut up. Oh, good guy. Pregnant woman, no, don't shut up, just talk about something else. Partner, friends, family, or other. Pregnant woman. What? Partner. Topics to talk about. You choose. Pregnant woman. I don't know. Family. Partner. Is your dad a first name or a sir type of man? Pregnant woman. Now that you've got his youngest daughter pregnant, probably sir. Partner. What are the rules regarding public displays of affection in front of your parents? Pregnant woman. Anything that's not a category on Pornhub is allowed. Partner. Do you think your family will like our baby's name? Pregnant woman. I don't know because we still need to agree on a name, remember? Partner. You know the name I want. Pregnant woman. I do. Next topic. She's over the name. She's over the name conversation right now. Partner. What is a great name? Pregnant. Of other. Next topic. Partner, imagine if your bones became itchy. Woman, you know what, honey? I can make my bladder behave in silence. I love you, partner. I love you too. Oh, he was trying to distract her. I get it. Oh, yeah, silence is not usually good for me. I'm sitting over there going, I went to my niece's wedding in Wisconsin. We were traveling back, and for some reason, I had a pee day that day. I just peed all day. We had to stop. It's usually an 8-hour drive. It took us 10 hours because I kept having to stop to go to the bathroom and waiting to go to the bathroom when you really, 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 really need to go. Not comfortable. It became painful at times. And I don't know why, just that day. Any other day I would be fine. I came back to from Seattle to Detroit, no problem. Went to bathroom like normal person. My husband says I have a small bladder. I'm working on it. It's getting better, but I used to have to go every 2 hours. If it was 2 hours, I was in the bathroom. I think most of that was boredom from being at work. Okay, our next read is True Off My Chest. My son asked me why I didn't hug him anymore. For context, my son is 14 and I'm his mom. Yesterday, I was watching TV on the couch and he came in and sat beside me, like right up against me. I asked what was up and he said nothing. A few minutes later, he said, I was wondering if maybe I could get a hug. I said, "Sure, why do you ask?" I was curious if something was wrong. He says, "I don't know. I guess you never really hug me anymore." I tell him I'm sorry and I give him a hug. We hug for a while. Honestly, it felt a little awkward. I'm not sure why. All in my head, I guess. When we let go, I see a tear and I ask what's wrong. He says, "Nothing. It just felt nice. I'm sorry." I say, "It's okay." I ask if he wants to sit for me a bit and he says, "Okay." He sits with me and I put my arm around him and watch TV in silence. And I felt tension at first, but I started to relax a little over time. The next morning, I go to give him a hug, and he says, "It's okay, you don't have to hug me all the time or anything." I say I want to, and he hugs me back. Always, I guess I'm a terrible parent because my own son has to ask me for a hug and act like I care about him. For some reason, I feel weird hugging my own son. End of rant. Some people are just not huggers. I did. I know somebody that once asked at what age you stopped hugging your son as a mother, which the answer is never. You never stop hugging your son, and I always wonder about that, if you know what I mean. Rosebud said he felt comfortable enough to mention it. That's a sign you're doing things right. Keep it up. And Quidley says, and OP didn't shut him down or make him feel awkward for asking. None of us get it right all the time, but being open to change, especially when it makes us uncomfortable, is a wonderful thing and should be acknowledged. Yeah. What? Just one Tessa says, yeah, my parents hardly hugged me at all until a psychiatrist of me said something to my mom about hugging me more, I guess, because she started hugging me and I hated it. To be fair, I had undiagnosed autism. Now we hug all the time. I'm not still not supernatural to me though. Supernatural, 2 words, not supernatural with a 1 word. Okay. My this is from subreddit What Do I Do? And it's entitled My Wife is Getting Letters Like This. Um My wife's grandmother is nuts. We have cut contact with her. Now she's sending us letters like this, and you got to see this. This is crazy. Oops. Dear teacher, fatty 12 by 12 can't get in the schoolhouse door. It's supposed to be 2 by 4. Why is 12 by 12? Fatty so. Mother said people who eat vegetables and fruits like they should don't get fatty. Big bellies, you are pretty but fatty. This is from the grandmother? My wife's grandmother. This one was sent to her at school. This week we have received 2 letters at home from someone apologizing for their grandson's letter. We know it is her. Now someone in the same household saw an outgoing letter that is addressed to my wife's boss. Oops, I have to do that. Sorry. It's addressed to my wife's boss. She has sent letters to different family members under different names for years. 3 of her 4 children have nothing to do with her. My kids know to call the police if she shows up at our home. We are tired of it. Her husband is terrified her. What should we do? This looks like dementia to me, or brain tumor. Probably dementia, giving it a grown person's um grandmother. Successful schedule says, okay, that's insane because I was commenting, this looks like my grandmother's handwriting before reading that it is from her grandmother. Holy crap. Apparently, you have the same grandmother. OP says, oh, for my wife's birthday, she sent a card and said they couldn't get her anything this year, but she bought her face cream last year for her birthday. Buttered white bread says, I feel you should call adult services about her clear dementia and disengage completely. And but beneficial moose says, moose spelled like the dessert, not the animal. I would definitely call adult services. Sounds like possible dementia and other health challenges to me. Nerdy Sarah says, sure she doesn't have any sort of mental illness. Yeah, they really need to get her to a hospital or to a doctor, I mean. Um, her husband's terrified of her, but also he's not helping her. And sometimes spouses of people with dementia can be in very, very, very deep denial. I've seen that tangentially, not personally. Our next read is from Entitled Parents, and it's entitled Dad Screamed at Me because I wouldn't let his kid pet my dog while my dog was wearing a do not pet vest. So this happened yesterday. I was walking my rescue dog Luna. She's a 4-year-old shepherd mix, super smart and sweet with me, but she's nervous around strangers, especially sudden movements or loud voices. I've been working with a trainer and she wears a bright red do not pet in training vest every time we go out. We were in a quiet neighborhood and Luna was sniffing the grass while we proceeded practice recall. Out of nowhere, I hear this man say, go ahead and pet the dog. This little girl, maybe 6, starts running straight to Luna. Okay, if the kid's 6, she can read the thing. She can at least read do not pet. That's a 2-letter word and 2 3-letter words. You learn those in 1st grade. Sometimes in kindergarten nowadays. Sometimes I immediately said, please don't, and stepped in front of Luna. Dad rolls his eyes and goes, she just wants to say hi. She loves dogs. I said, I'm sorry, she's not comfortable being touched. He scoffs and says, you shouldn't bring her out in public if she's aggressive. She's not aggressive. She's nervous. That's different. At this point, Luna is just sitting behind me, calm but tense, tail tucked, and I told her, she's not aggressive. She's in training. That's what the vest is for. Then he yells, she'll never get any better if you don't let people pet her. You're the reason dogs end up mean. No, you, sir, are the reason dogs end up mean because you don't listen to people or dogs. Like what? I literally train her daily and every precaution. Take every precaution. I told him I'm protecting both your kid and my dog. Please leave us alone. He threw his hands up and muttered something like crazy dog people and walked off and his daughter said sorry. Oh, poor little girl knows that dad's nuts. The thing is, if my dog had reacted badly, he'd be the first one to demand she be put down. People don't realize how dangerous it is to let pet kids run up to strange dogs, even friendly ones. Yeah, people do know that. They just ignore it. Please, for the love of all things canine, teach your kids to ask before touching a dog. Yes, you should always ask first. And if the answer is no, then you leave and don't touch the dog. Refrigerator Rare says, I hated when random people would pet my dog. My dog is private property, not public petting zoo, hands off. Someone deleted a post. I don't know. Woman in question says, I'm one of those people who wants to pet every dog I see, but I always ask permission because you don't know what the situation might be. Added, one of my favorite moments ever was when we had a biannual sniffer dog training exercise at my workplace. It's a large warehouse like building with tons of shelves where local law enforcement came to train drug and ordinance sniffing dogs. One time they let me play with one of the dogs after he was done with the training. It was so cool. Yeah, that sounds cool. Force of slug sluggy yuck. Slug yuck? I don't know. Something like that. Says I always get annoyed with people who can't do the basics and ask first. I can't tell if that's one of my girls or one of the boys. Deer outside. Force of slug yuck says I quotes the always I always ask permission. I always get annoyed with people who can't do the basics and ask first. It's not hard at all. I don't know your dog didn't like pets. Yeah, maybe ask first next time and wait for a response. And then kids will sometimes just ignore you. I told the kids, my son had people over, I think it was his birthday. He had kids that we were not super familiar with. We had just moved here. And I guess we'd been here almost a year, but still, that's the first time they'd come over. And I said, don't pick up the dog. You can pet the dog, you can play with the dog. Don't pick up the dog. He doesn't like it. And of course, some kids try to pick up the dog and he gets bit. Luckily, his parents were very understanding when I explained that I told him to not pick up the dog, and he picked up the dog. And the dog was not a small dog. He was 35 pounds. It was not a little like chihuahua or anything. He was cute though. He looked like he had a little beard. I should pay my dog tax and show you Hero sometime. All right, next we have um bye bye job. Sorry. Next we have bye bye job. It's entitled Brewers fans FAFO bye bye law firm. Dodgers fan and Navy veteran Ricardo Fadasso recorded a Brewers fan yelling, "Let's call ice at him," during a Tuesday's playoff game. Link in comments. The woman identified as Shannon, very complicated Polish name, resigned from the Make-A-Wish, Wisconsin board and was fired from her law firm. Wow. Why would you do that? And I don't see the link in the comments. No, that's just the post. It's flirt. I'm not racist, but yeah, you're racist, little girl. Yeah, there's no link or anything. Kobalarzik. She's very white. She might be whiter than me. Not super white. All right. Our next read is from Oh No Consequences. OOP moves in with his girlfriend and never cleans or helps with babysitting because she had it. Oh, this is the same one we already read. This is the same one we already read. Why is it in here twice? Hold on a second. I gotta go see something. I might have to choose another one for that, but um, I know we just read it. Is that not the double? No. I know we just read this one. So I'm gonna go find another one. I don't remember where we read it from. It's my problem. Um, okay. Yeah. Yeah, it was from Am I the Devil? And this is from Oh No Consequences. So he got Devil and Consequences today. And I don't know why I picked Am I the Devil. Maybe I subconsciously remembered. Um, with oh no consequences. Oh no consequences. That we read that one today. He got into a top one in two subreddits. Good going. Good going, guy. You really are the jerk. Oh, okay. All right. Here's a new one. Um, the oh no consequences one that we already read was the guy that got blindsided by his girlfriend because he wouldn't do anything. OOP moves in with girlfriend, never cleans or helps with babysitting because she had it under control and never asked for help. Is shocked when she leaves him for being unreliable. Which is a pretty good summary of that. Okay. So our next read is from Oh No Consequences. I tried to sneak snacks to my husband who is in rehab for binge eating disorder. Why have I been banned? I can tell you why you've been banned. This is originally from AITAH from a year ago. AITAH for reporting my wife for bringing me snacks in the hospital. Oh, he reported her. Nice. I am 32-year-old and male. About 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with binge eating disorder. To put it simply, I eat compulsively even when not hungry. My BMI is 43, putting me in class 3 obesity range. Since my diagnosis, I have not improved whatsoever. Therapy and support groups have a positive effect on my mentality, but even 2 hours late after, I'll be in line at a drive-through. It has affected my health, my mental health, my finances, and of course, my wife. My wife is 37. She's average size and eventually agreed that I may need actual medical intervention. After a lot of deliberation, we packed up in temporarily state so I could participate in an inpatient program as part of a research study. Apparently, intervention programs for BED can be pretty hit or miss, and this one is new. Take on them being 6 months instead of the typical 30 to 90 days. I'm currently at the end of my first month, and everything is going very well. I've made a lot of friends in the program as well, and at the end of 1 month mark, visitation opened up, and my wife could now visit me. Obviously, she jumped at the chance to come and visit me 2 days ago. We headed over to my room where she took her backpack off and pulled out jalapeno chips and colas, two of my most common binge items. I first freaked out, but she explained that I deserved a break, how much trouble she went through to smuggle them through. I immediately shouted for a nurse who forcefully removed the products from her hands and then escorted her out of the hospital with a full team. My wife is now completely banned from the premises. She's furious at me. The doctors and nurses have expressed nothing but gratitude and told me that I had indulged. I would have instantly been removed from the program. One thing that my wife said that made me think she had a point was instead of telling her to put the snacks away and take them home, I went for a nuclear option of calling other people. I know that her bringing me snacks was objectively wrong, but was my reaction over the top? I don't think so. Like, if you had said no, thank you, she would have pushed. She would have pushed you because you deserve a break. You deserve a break from all of this. No, she would have pushed you. You did the right. Cat walks by himself. Quotes, one thing that my wife said made me think she had a point was instead of telling her to put the snacks away and take them home, I went for the nuclear option of calling other people. Turns out he did, in fact, basically tell her to stop trying to give him snacks, but she refused. She quotes, "At first I freaked out, but she explained that I deserved a break and went into detail about how much trouble she went through to smuggle them through." Sorry, a deer just walked by and it looked like it was limping, but I don't think it was now. Um, quote, "I deserved a break and went into detail about how much trouble she went through to smuggle them through. So what else did I apologize to put them away when he started freaking out, but tried to talk him into it. She's an enabler, and if he stayed with her, he probably never got free. Perpetually Exhausted said he voluntarily committed himself to an inpatient program for binge eating. His wife take it seriously. I don't see how him telling her to put the snacks away and take them home would have worked. At that point, the nuclear option was his only choice because clearly he has problems with self control around food and is trying hard to address that. It's no different than bringing drugs or alcohol to someone in sober inpatient program. Exactly. Yeah. He's probably gonna have to break up with his wife, unfortunately. I think this is not something that's gonna long term help him. Mildly infuriating, entitled Couldn't You oh, Mildly infuriating, entitled Couldn't You Just Put the Hours There? And there's a picture, store hours, and underneath it is a QR code. Like why? And he's not wrong. Draz says this is the equivalent of the store telling me to go F myself. He's not wrong either. Um I'm not pronouncing that. It says, considering QR codes are one of the more popular ways to spell malware, they literally are. Don't scan random barcodes in public, even at businesses. Placing a sticker over an existing QR code is trivial. It's the same level of stupid as people picking up a USB drive in a parking lot and plugging it into your computer. Random user Randomized username says, I've literally done that before. I got a free empty USB drive out of it. I may be stupid, but now I have an extra USB drive. Knowing woman says, my computer got fried by a USB drive that I bought, so no way am I scanning anything anywhere unless I know for sure it's safe. Yeah. It's interesting. You could have put on the QR code if you wanted and still printed it out. It's not that difficult. It's actually pretty darn easy. Okay, best of Redditor updates. Entitled, My Rapist Sent Me an Instagram DM confessing to raping me 7 years later. The prosecution still refuses to press charges. What can I do? Get a better lawyer. This original post was June 4th, 2020. For the sake of anonymity, I'm going to keep the long story short. I was raped in college by a man I didn't know and did not ever express interest in. He followed me home from a party and snuck into my building and waited until my male friend who had walked me home that night to get away from him left my building to come bang on my door. At the time, I was 18-year-old white female, and this was a smallish cottage town in the South. Just right there. The deer is like right there. Like right there. I got to move my desk so I'm not so distracted by what's going on outside. Because going on outside is exciting. All right, I have a lot more evidence than typical campus rape cases. Witnesses, text messages, rape kit. And this was not the type of guy who made one horrible mistake. If nothing happened, he would 10,000% do it to another girl, which is why I felt it was my responsibility to do something. By the time the DA finally officially told me they weren't going to do anything 2 years later, because it's difficult to prosecute when alcohol is involved. No, it's not. I know that for a fact. It was too late for me to pursue a civil suit. I might It might be worth noting that the man comes from money and a lot of it. There's the key. There's the key right there. I also found that they never analyzed my rape kit, let alone investigated the crime scene. Oh my gosh. There were a few other things that were pretty sketchy about the police investigation, DA's handling of that case. But I can't get too specific on here. It kind of felt like they were doing everything in their power not to prosecute, and there's literally nothing on his record to show for it, not even a drop charge. It took me a long time to truly move on and accept that I did what I could, but I finally did. Then a week or so ago, 6.5 years later, I realized I had unread message requests on Facebook from a month prior. I saw that had something from him. We are not Instagram friends. There were various messages in a row that clearly demonstrate he is not well mentally, but more importantly, he said, So I guess I raped you. I won't do it to anyone else ever. I was shocked. I was shook. I sent it to the DA's office, who were utterly shocked, and the next day they said they'd get back to me in another week, but that I shouldn't get my hopes up because this kind of stuff gets really complicated and difficult to prosecute. Get a lawyer. Get a lawyer. Something has to be done. While they haven't told me officially yet they aren't going to prosecute, I know in my gut it's not going to happen. They'll find an excuse. So I know I need a lawyer, so please don't give me that too as advice. I'm posting this question to see if anyone's ever been through anything similar and knows of nonprofits, resources, pro bono lawyers that might be able to help. I can't sue him, statute of limitations. I can't really sue the government, uphill battle. But I also can't just let this go. If there's anything I've learned recently, it's that systems don't change by staying quiet. Okay, so if none of that's going to work, public humiliation. Publicly tell everybody, name the names, and let him sue you for defamation. And then it'll all come out, and you'll get some money out of it because you can reverse that. What can I do to get both the mark on his record and shed light on the justice system that failed me? I'm sure many others. And this, folks, is why women do not report rape. Only 3% of all men accused of rape and convicted of rape go to jail for it anyway. 3%. And that doesn't even count all the ones that don't even get reported. Edit. I received so much helpful advice, referrals, and positive comments. I can't thank you all enough. I now have a lawyer who specializes in these kind of cases and is going to help me push the criminal case through the legal system. If that doesn't work, plan B will be to publish my experience on media and social media. Thanks again. See, I was right. I'm always right. I'm not always right. The next post is October 23rd, 2025. So this is over 5 years later. 5 years ago, I got a Facebook message from my rapist 7 years after the assault. He didn't apologize, but his message reopened every wound I'd spent years trying to heal. I didn't know what to do, but I knew I wasn't going to let it go this time. From my first experience trying to get the case prosecuted, I knew it wouldn't be easy, so I turned to our legal advice on Reddit asking what to do. I got hundreds of responses and DMs. One was from a prosecutor in another state. Thank you, Miles Braccio. Braccio? It's 2 C's, I don't know. Who gave me legal and emotional support and confirmed what I already suspected about how hard this would be. Another survivor reached out and contacted me to her lawyer, who ended up representing me. Nice. That lawyer then connected me with the Pennsylvania Coalition Against Rape, PCAR, and their legal team, who stood by me through the process. When months passed with no movement, we went to the media. The Associated Press broke my story, and soon after, ABC's Good Morning America picked it up. The pressure worked and charges were finally filed, but Ian was nowhere to be found. In 2024, he was identified in France, extricated, and this week, 5 years after that Reddit post and 12 years after the assault, he was sentenced to 2 to 4 years in prison. Justice was finally served. He got a whole 2 years in prison. Probably will get out in a year. Justice was finally served, and it all started with Reddit. So many kind and helpful people showed up for me when I needed it most, and I didn't know what to do. Thank you, Reddit community. And there's a couple of, I'll put the URL to this post in the comments because there are a couple of URLs in the post itself. But I'm not going to put all of those on. But I did put the URL in the comments for you. So go and look that up. So anyway, and I will check that one out later myself because I am curious. Where did that go? Okay. All right. Now we have a TikTok video. It looks like a TikTok video. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. And this is entitled Made Me Smile. The school's teacher decided to mimic their students by leaving school as soon as the bell rang. This is going to be funny. I can just tell. I can just tell. I'll make this bigger. Are you ready? Oops.
Established just dance and ensure domesticated house cats. Provide the display the shiniest plate. Oh my god.
That's cute. That's cute. Teachers having fun at school is always cute. Um, they have a hard job, guys. They do not get paid enough. I don't care what anybody says. They do not get paid nearly enough, nearly their worth to put up with you parents that don't parent your children. Oh, well, that's all I have for today. I will be back either next week sometime, maybe, or um December 1st, which is Monday. December 1st. It's December. It's almost Christmas. It's almost Christmas, people. Not religious, but very Christmassy. Um, Maybe I'll wear my Santa hat or something. I don't know. But not till after my birthday. My birthday's next month too. So anyway, I hope everybody has a good day. Take care. Have a good Thanksgiving. Everybody eat some turkeys because Turkey Day is coming. Turkey Day. We love Turkey Day. It's good for turkeys.